Hello, cosplay world. No thumbnail, fanciness, just regular because, of course, it's not cosplay. It's more my equipment, I guess. So I didn't want you. You guys know this feel. You get it. Okay. So this is a Steadicam. Yes, it looks pretty nice. I think black spray paint, or actually, no, that's acrylic. It's regular acrylic paint. It does wonders to make it look not like wood and plastic and random bits of things I left around my house. But yes, it works wonderfully. Had quite a bit of practice with it. The Ren Fair, had a lot of fun, took some videos. Although, I don't know, maybe I could use something to like point it because it floats, and if I turn in a different direction, it stays pointed in the same direction. So I have to figure out a way to make it turn without messing with the whole stability. Okay, you guys get the idea. Oh well. From my last video, I talked about using this molding as cross bracing, or I think no, just regular bracing, not cross bracing, regular bracing. But it was truly intended for this project. I needed it for the stabilizer, the adjusting, for the counterweight, for the camera. Yes. So this is just molding, cheap molding, cost me like $4.50, $5. Yes. For 16, it was a lot of it. So bam, there we go. I'm going to drill some holes in it with my handy dandy push drill. I think eventually I resort to using a rotary tool to drill a hole because this takes forever to do with a little hand tool. Yeah. Oh, but you guys get the idea what's going on here. At least you will once you see how it goes together and it pivots. Yes. So the idea here is that we need to pivot the counterweight in order to shoot high and low and bounce the camera where we want it, because hey, maybe we'll have a different hammer on there. It doesn't balance quite the same place, and we wanted to shift that center of mass so that the camera shoots forward and not backwards or sideways or whatever the case may be. There's a certain degree of preciseness you need to have in order for it to balance well. So when you're cutting your pieces, make sure they're fairly uniform. They don't have to be perfect, but it helps a little bit when you are shooting that, or when you're shooting. Now you see I've mounted the counterweights. Those are the metal things there at the bottom there, really close to the wood. I changed that up, as you will see later on, because balance is what we're looking for. Oh, this is great. I'm really happy with it. If you're going to RamenCon, I will be shooting with this. Of course, I'm going to be putting up this Friday, so chances are you will see it if you're at RamenCon. Yeah. But there is our finished product. It's a little bit different. There's a screw I picked up that fits in the camera mount. I made sure to bring an example with me so that I got the right kind of screw for my camera. And there's an example of me showing off its kind of almost finishedness there. I've got eyelets as to allow gripping and not to stress the fiber of the wood. But you will be amazed at how kind of janky it is underneath. It's really just kind of scrap I had on hand lying around. This is just PVC pipe I had, so there we go. By the seat of your pants. The important part is the joint, the elbow joint. I've seen quite a few designs that involve things that look like gyros and various other washers and spinny things. Words, they elude me. Oh well. I'll think of it like later on in the video. Trust me, I will. Yes, don't worry. The bearings. There we go. Bearings. I did it. You had doubts. I didn't. I knew I would figure it out. Bearings. Yes, various bearings. But this design is taken from, I don't know, 2 or 3 other ones I've seen online. So if you're looking for the materials lists and can't quite figure it out from the video here, you can see lots of photo tutorials on this. I don't think I've seen any video tutorials on this, so yay, maybe. I'm pretty sure they exist. We're all over the internet, does exist. So lots of washers and nuts and bolts mounting them in place, allowing for friction and for you to securely mount them in place and they don't wiggle anywhere. Yay! I'm going to be rounding up all the edges so that they look slightly more professional and pretty looking. Yay! Because at the end of the day, I don't want it to look kind of janky. I see quite a few of my friends have these camera rigs, which I don't quite understand. Which I think they're functional, but yeah, I'd like myself to look pretty because I like things that are pretty. So what I'm going to do is sort of just mount that screw right into the PVC pipe and going to bend it in place so that I can mount the elbow or shoulder pivot thing. There we go. It looks not so great underneath, but on top it looks just fine from the other picture saying moths. Sorry, there's moths. If you guys hadn't caught on, there are moths in the house, and we're dealing with that, and that would drive me insane. So we're going to take a look at this, and as you can see, it's just a piece of pipe bent over into a way that I can mount everything in place. It's very simple, very functional, and not specifically pretty, but we're going to fix that. That's me heating the pipe up with the heat gun and bending it in place and putting screws in, and bam. And be on camera. There we go, I'm on camera. Okay, so it's going to need some nuts and bolts to hold it in place. I'm also going to be using some friendly plastic. If you guys don't know, friendly plastic is, it has several other names, polylactic something. It's a Loctite, or there's other brands of plastic, but the basic idea is it cools down. It's extremely hard, very good for filling and mounting things. A lot of people use it for molds and shaping and sculptures. That seems very expensive to me. So I use it as kind of a filler. When I say you don't want to use, I don't know, resin or something like that. It's actually cheaper than resin. Or is it? No, it's not. It's not cheaper than resin. No. But it cools down quickly, allowing you to continue your work. And it fits well when you're working with plastic. So yay, we're working with plastic. One thing that I'm going to be doing, and you'll see later on in the video, is I'm going to clear everything from the range of motion. That is to say, if it stops it from pivoting, I cut it away. There it is. I'm working with a hot knife, cutting out pieces of the pipe so it doesn't go anywhere, or so that it's clear to move as it pleases. Another piece of PVC pipe for the handle. I'll be layering some 3/4 pipe over this 1/2 inch pipe, and also sticking in there some 1/2 inch dowel. Bam, there's your handle. Just stick pipes together and dowel together, and you got a nice, strong, hefty kind of pipe handle. It's not pretty, of course, but we're gonna fix that. But we're gonna go over the functional bits first, of course. I'm going to transition into the thinner piece of 1 inch pipe because, of course, I'm still on about the range of motion. And there we go. So yes, cut that away, make sure it can pivot freely as it will. And I'm going to show you the crossbar. This is very important. I will get into this shortly as soon as I show off it kind of having freedom of motion. Yay! Awesome. There we go. It pivots pretty easily and awesomely. But as the center of mass is balanced along the, say, x-axis, we need to balance along the y-axis and z-axis, respectively. Doc, what are you doing? Anyway, so like a tightrope walker, we're going to need to create a very large moment, or make it very difficult for it to rotate. Okay, that's why they have tightrope walkers have those big sticks or bars or whatever the case may be. It makes it so they don't fall over. Imagine that. So by putting the weights at the far ends, it allows us to make it more stable. Yay! This also works with the arm, or the part that is bendy. So the farther it's spread out, the more less it spins. So if you have a really big one of these, it's going to be more stable. Of course, it's going to be bigger and bulkier, maybe a little less easy to use. Yay! I'm fighting with it off camera, sorry about that, but yes, I'm going to be heating this up and mounting it. You're going to want to get this as balanced as possible. It's incredibly crucial because, of course, if it's off balance, it's just going to lean to one side. Mine is pretty close. It's off by 1 weight. There's 1 more weight on one side than there is on the other, so it's really close, but it's not exactly the same. It's not perfect, but I made sure that in the end it was balanced and even. We don't want the shot to be crooked. Oh, there we go. We're gonna put screws in it, mounted up real strong, and bam, there we are. All right, we got this thing functioning. It works wonderful. It is not really the most pretty thing in the world, as you can see, but it works. Now for the covering, because I want to look pro, even though I'm not really pro. I'm amateur, obviously. I got some PVC on hand. You can use whatever cover you want to use. Maybe foamies. Maybe you can get some PVC. Maybe you can get something else. It doesn't really matter. But I cut out a nice shape I designed earlier on that would not mess with the range of motion. Remember, it's very important not for it to bump into things and yeah. there's lines on there so that I bend it evenly, and along a straight line, make it look clean along those bends. Yes, there it is. At the end, it's pretty good. It's not like super pro, but it looks nice once you got some black paint on it. Alright, so we have a bit of plastic over the top to hide all the nasty bits. Not completely, so we're going to hide some more nasty bits by rounding out the handle. I also have some Wonderflex on hand. If you don't have Wonderflex, it's fine. But I have scraps on hand, so I was just going to stick it on. Wonderflex makes a wonderful grip. I like to use it a lot for grips. It has a good texture for that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to use it around the bottom of the handle, and I'm also going to use it as part of the grip. Yay! The Wonderflex sticks very well to plastic, especially when it wraps all the way around and grips to itself. I guess Worbla would work just as well if you're working with that. In this case, there wouldn't be a huge of a difference. Of course, making sure to smooth out any kind of lumpy bits, because there's a transition in there too. I'm going to heat it up and smooth it out. But being that my hand is going to be over it most of the time, it's not a huge priority. However, I don't want those lines in the back showing it either. So I did stick a piece of plastic in there, and glue it down too. But it's not exactly a clean sort of look, and I'm going to put a little trim on there for decorative purposes, mostly to hide that seam. I'm also going to be rounding where the armature pivots to make it look nice. I took a sander to it too off camera because I don't want to sand in the house at the moment, so I'm going to sand outside. And simply stick that on the back. Bam! I'm going to use some circle templates to give it a nice rounded shape, and that's not too hard to accomplish. Bam! Circle templates. When I'm not using pots and pans and bowls and plates for circles, I use circle templates. But yeah, I just kind of stick that on the end of there. I don't know, maybe I'll put like a logo or some sort of decal on there, something to make it look nice. But for right now, it's black, very simple, hides any sort of ickiness, and makes it look decent. I would recommend sanding, of course, before painting plastic. It helps out a little bit, quite a bit, I guess. Wonderflex, you don't really need to sand, but the PVC you do. The wood is going to take several coats, and I'm going to use a polyurethane coating to seal it. And let me just show off. It condenses or compacts into a nice little package, except for the bar, but I mean, there's nothing really you can do about it. I'm going to show off me practicing with it for the first time. It's, I don't know, I need a little practice, but trust me, later on I do much better work with it. You see me shoot things like the beginning of any of my videos with it. Yay! I hope this was awesome, guys. See you next time. Good times to all. Alright, thanks a lot, guys. For everyone who stuck around this far, these videos are for you guys. The ones that stuck around and want to learn all these cosplay things, really involved in the cosplay community. I love, most of all, your comments. I get up in the morning, drink my coffee, read comments, try to answer as many as I can. Of course, it's great when you like and subscribe. That helps me out. I'm hoping to get maybe to, I think the next one's 5,000, where I get to do more interactive things with my subscribers and the people who are actually engaged, which is really what this is about, because this is a community, and I want to grow this community. Anyway, I think that's about it. See you in the next video.